seconds.
Very good evening and welcome to the Stockyard. Franklin, south of Auckland, approximately 50 kilometres from the city centre for tonight's NBL pre-season clash between the New Zealand Breakers and the Illawarra Hawks. Hello and welcome, Justin Nelson and Casey Frank with you for this pre-season game as both teams prepare for the season ahead in the Australian National Basketball League. Casey, no doubt both of these teams will be keen to impress tonight, but bigger plans ahead, bigger fish to fry, and they will certainly be going through their paces as they prepare for what should be an historic NBL Blitz in Darwin starting next Friday.
Yeah, the Blitz is going to be very exciting, but both teams got a little bit of business here in the south of Auckland before that. And, for the Illawarra Hawks in particular, an improved performance is on the books. They haven't played their best basketball yet in the preseason. Of course, not yet at full strength. But their closed-door hit-out against the New Zealand Breakers a few days ago, things did not go according to plan against a stifling Breakers defense that they will look to replicate once again.
And plenty of new faces for both teams, and we'll talk about those players a little bit more as the evening rolls on. But I must admit, we're looking at some very, very fresh teams here, and in particular, the Hawks, such a young unit.
It is always difficult at this point of the year when you're trying to get these young guys up to speed, put people into their roles, get them to play things the right way. And you're not quite at full strength yet, an import yet to come in. A couple of disappointing losses, I think, for the Illawarra here in the preseason. Had that game against UC Riverside, in which some young Australian and Kiwi stars really balled out. But anytime you lose a game like that to a collegiate team as an NBL team, you get a little bit of a chip on your shoulder. You realize, all right, we've got some work to do. Didn't get that work out just off the plane in the first hit out against the Breakers. With a couple of days of practice and rest, they will be looking for a much improved performance today.
So not too far away from a start here between the Breakers and the Hawks. Talking of imports, there is a fair bit to look at and talk about tonight. Only one import across these two teams is a familiar face, and in fact, he is one of the co-captains of the Hawks, Tyler Harvey.
Yeah, Tyler Harvey, fantastic player. So shifty. When he gets going, he is as hot as anyone with his ability to put the ball in the hoop and facilitate for teammates, and has been a real Breakers killer over the last couple of seasons. They've struggled to defend him, and he will be looking to put up another MVP caliber season.
Look out for Justin Robinson wearing the number 3 singlet, the 24-year-old point guard out of Virginia Tech. Has certainly spent some time in his young years around the NBA scene, having spent time with the Wizards, the Thunder, the Bucks, the Kings, the Pistons, the 76ers. He's one to keep an eye on tonight.
And now the Hawks, just not the Hawks he probably prefers. He might want that NBA one instead. But, you know, just another example of a NBA caliber player who has come over and looks to improve his game here in Australia and New Zealand, while also with one eye on getting back to the level that he wants to at the NBA. He comes with a great pedigree, obviously. His ability to put the ball in the hoop is going to be really important for this young Hawk squad today. Needs to take some pressure off Tyler Harvey, in particular when he's bringing that ball up the court to dissuade some of the defensive pressure of this Breakers unit.
And before we tip off, Casey, the 3 new imports for the Sky Sport Breakers: Derek Pardon, Jarrell Brantley, and Barry Brown Jr.
Well, Brown Jr. and Brantley are physical players, possibly a little short for their positions, but certainly not undersized. These are strong athletes, and you're looking at Derek Pardon, who is going to have a lot on his shoulders for the Breakers this season, facilitating offensively. He's known as a scorer. He's a guy who can put the ball in the hoop from anywhere. But I think his role with the Breakers this year is going to be as much about facilitation as scoring himself.
So just about set to go here in Franklin, the home of the Franklin Bulls during the New Zealand National Basketball League season tonight. For this NBL preseason game, it's the home of the Sky Sport Breakers, who are into attack for the first time. McDowell White working with Brantley inside, the nice little floater, and the finish. The Breakers get the opening points.
Really nice, simple basketball there, using the on ball, getting Brantley the ball in the key. He loves to use his physicality in the game. Today, you'll see a lot of it, but the soft touch on display on his first touch.
And a little bit of pressure up the floor early. Here's Froling underneath. What can the Hawks muster up here through Deng Deng in the end? Rode the bump and finished nicely on the right.
Nice delivery by Harvey there, drawing defenders before passing a scoreable ball. But that defense from the Breakers, that's going to be their bread and butter this season.
Might actually be the oldest player in the team, Deng Deng, at 30, believe it or not. Here's Abercrombie, that trademark step back from the wing, front of the iron. Deng Deng with the rebound. How good is it to see a fit and firing Tom Abercrombie on the floor?
Great to see Tommy back out on the court. Just such an athlete. Just hopeful for his body to hang on and give himself a chance to play a little bit more this year.
Oh, Harvey with the scoop off the left. That's nice. Speaking of trademark.
So tough. The high finish, so shifty. And this Hawks team, they're a little bit embarrassed a couple of days ago. They're coming out with a bit of fire today.
Brown Jr. inside looking for Pardon. Foul called, and Pardon will take a look at a couple of early shots here, early stages of this preseason NBL game tonight. Hawks leading at 4-2.
Derek Pardon on the key. A bit of an undersized center. Stands about 6'8", 6'9", but that wingspan, fantastic. 7'2", I believe. Just really becomes a member of this Breakers starting unit that can harass teams defensively, with Brown Jr. facilitating that pass to get him these free throw attempts.
And Pardon out of the Northwestern Wildcats. He's the all-time leading field goal percentage at 60% across his collegiate career.
It's tough to make those shots in the Big Ten. You got to be physical to get buckets at that rate.
Early stages. Hawks by one. Deng Deng's had plenty of it. Lays it off here for Froling. McDowell White with the hand just in the chest. That was the foul that was called. Froling at the line now.
Yeah, Breakers got caught in a rotation there. And a nice exit pass delivered to a flashing Froling, who had that mismatch with William McDowell White and took advantage of it.
Most improved player in the NBL, of course, in 2021, Sam Froling.
And with good reason. His trajectory as a player has been really brilliant. He's had a great offseason this year, playing a lot with the Boomers, honing his game and looking to make another jump this year.
Froling converts the three-point play. Hawks out by 4. Opening minutes of this preseason clash. Oh, good look away and put down with the left from Derek Pardon. Set it up with the look away pass to the right. Had the Hawks defense guessing. What a finish.
Excellent use of the ball fake to freeze Froling, and then the strong finish.
Robinson with the miss. Abercrombie up quickly. Eyes up, goes to the wing. Brantley with the look. McDowell White will get a second look. That one comes up short. Battle on the boards. And the Breakers get another opportunity.
Really showing off that physicality early in this one.
McDowell White up, looking for Pardon.
Caught between two worlds there. Might have been a shot, might have been a pass.
Oh, transition was good from the Hawks, but how about the defense from Barry Brown Jr. on the strip, and there's a foul off the ball here.
Brantley just absolutely trucks through Robertson there. Jarrell Brantley using his physicality on that one. Hats off to Justin Robinson on that one. The train on the tracks coming down like that. Locomotive in full control, and he wore it well.
I do like the effort of Jarrell Brantley to ask the referee whether the call was right.
You got to get space running down the court.
Here's Harvey. Maybe a hand in there from Pardon. Of course, this venue, Casey, affectionately known for our viewers from Australia as the Stockyard.
The Franklin Bulls have been plying their trade here for a couple of seasons now. I think both teams will be happy not to be in the midst of winter in this gym, though.
No, absolutely. You and I have been through that a number of times through the New Zealand NBL season, and it is not pretty, let me tell you. On the step back, that's a deep shot off the hand of Robinson.
Yeah, extension there by Thomas Abercrombie, challenging that just enough.
Oh, under the left wing, Brantley to the basket.
Well, he's able to get that first step on Dang Dang there. And Brantley and Dang Dang, they had a bit of a conversation in that closed-door scrimmage when it was coming down the stretch as the Breakers had gained control of that one. And Dang Dang wasn't too appreciative of the chatter that was coming through from some of the Breakers players as they were winning big. And that's the beauty about the preseason. You're going to see each other again in 48 hours.
And that's the thing, I think, with Dang Dang, though, Casey, and maybe it does infuriate some opposition players at times because you can talk as much smack as you want to him. He's just always smiling.
He wasn't smiling as much in this one. He wasn't smiling as much in this one, but it is always the guys who let it flow like water off a duck's back that are the toughest on you when you're trying to chatter a bit.
7 apiece. Here's Froling going down the lane. Down with the left. Sam Froling.
Right back at you.
Pretty stuff.
Turnabout is fair play. Derek Parton does it on one side. Sam Froling gets it on the other.
Loving the theatrics on the sidelines of Hawks coach Jacob Jackomas as well. He's into this one. Hawks by 2. Here's Abercrombie from the left wing. That one in and out.
Hawks doing a nice job of contesting shooters early in this one. Haven't given up a lot of open looks.
Harvey, right then left to Dang Dang, caught on the travel.
Yeah, he would have got away with it if he would have put that shot up. But when he stepped into it without dribbling, he has to take that shot. When he tries to take another half step before putting it on the floor, really forcing the officiating crew's hand.
Familiar face for Aussies and Kiwis stepping onto the floor for the Breakers in Cam Glidden, who comes into the team with a 2-year contract. One of the very best that we've seen over the years, Cam Glidden. Great locker room guy, real competitor. And here he is, straight into the action with the triple. There you go, Cam Glidden, if you don't mind.
A quick release as ever. When the Breakers recruited, as we see a timeout to the Illawarra here, when the Breakers recruited Glidden, I had half a thought that it was just so that they would not have to see him anymore. He has been a Breaker killer over the seasons, in particular in Spark Arena.
Wouldn't be the first team to do that, mind you.
Definitely not. You got to weaken the opponents when you can, but over the years at Spark Arena, he has just absolutely had his eye in and seems to have traveled over to the Stockyard as the first look. A quick one, nothing but net.
Midway through the first quarter here in Franklin tonight, south of Auckland. Tamaki Makaurau, it's 10-9 lead to the Breakers early in this one. And of course, both of these teams will jet out pretty quickly, Casey, and head back across the ditch to Australia because all teams will be heading up to Darwin for a week for the NBL Blitz. Looking forward to that. All teams to play 3 games up there as they prepare for the season ahead. Yeah,
it starts off this Friday, or kicks off this Friday coming up on the 16th of September. Blitz is always just a great time. You get to see all the teams in the league, get to catch up with the friends that you have, and form a few rivalries, fierce as they may be in the preseason. A lot of basketball to be played, and just that opportunity for everybody to hone their skills, hone what they want to do for the season, and get a little taste of the opposition.
Kind of nice of the NBL to send all teams to the far north. A little bit of sunshine and heat before the season starts.
Not bad, not bad. And
Pressure. I like this.
Yeah, well, this is what the Breakers were really showing in the scrimmage the other day, is their ability to go full court with their length and size. They are big at pretty much every position, strong as well, and a lot of switchability out there. They are going to be looking to put a lot more pressure on teams than they have in the last few seasons.
Madondra into the action now for the Hawks. There's Froling. Inside, outside. Good setup. Ding with the finish. And he answers out of that timeout with a triple for the Hawks. They're back out by 2.
Love the attack on the interior first to make those defensive sag just a bit. And then that open space for Ding on the finish.
Pardon. Inside. Plenty of grappling going on there. Brantley having that right arm held back.
Brantley just loves a mismatch. He will be hunting out the switches all season long. The second you put a guard on him, he is getting right down there to the block and using his physicality to call for that basketball. And teams that switch on the breakers this season are going to have to be very aware of that.
A Calder Gack into the action now for the Hawks, the 211-centimetre 20-year-old. McDowell White was looking inside there for Pardon. Off hands, the Breakers will get it back. Rob Lowe about to step out for his first run tonight. An Auckland local. And in fact, this season, the Breakers, Casey, have quite a bit of Kiwi flair, don't they?
They do. They have made a commitment to the New Zealand-ness of the team this year. After a couple of years of Australia, they really wanted to focus on that.
Missed pass for Liafa there. All of a sudden, he's called to step up and play some defense. Hard to the basket. Justin Robinson. Hawks fans will be relishing the chance to have a good look at him.
Yeah, Justin Robinson, with that NBA pedigree, puts a lot of pressure on an import to come over. When you've played at that level, the expectations are high to what you're going to be able to deliver your team.
And out of a good basketball program as well, Virginia Tech product.
All-time leader in assists for the Hokies there in Blacksburg, Virginia.
Puts the first away from the line. The lefty with the second. And the Hawks with the early running here. Out by 4, 14-10.
Great response out of the timeout, scoring 5 straight as the Breakers have gone to the bench and will now need to pick up that offensive threat.
Liafa with the up fake. Lowe will fire away. A little bit short. Up strong, the Hawks. Seemingly winning the rebound count at the moment. Robinson, Abercrombie stepping up defensively. What a star he's been over the years. Abercrombie on this occasion finding a way through was Robinson. Missed shot. Madondra with the chance. Lowe effectively in the end cleans it up for the Breakers. And now they get a chance to reset.
Excellent defense by Illawarra in transition, extending and pressuring.
Lowe with the little fake. That was nice. Found his way to the hoop. Tried to just kiss it in off the glass.
Does all the work. Can't get the finish, Rob Lowe.
Oh, he does a lot of work mid-court as well on Ding.
Picking pockets, Rob Lowe with the quick hands.
It ends up with Liafa. And once again, off the miss. The Hawks have the numbers on the boards.
Solid defensive effort in the half court, really making things difficult for the Breakers to execute at the level they would like to as Rob Lowe gets the foul up high.
Yeah, heads up play there by Robinson. The 185-centimetre player had big Rob Lowe in front of him. And he liked that at distance from the basket. Hawks out by 4.
Shooting the basketball really well right now. 5 for 9 from the field and holding the Breakers to just 3 for 10 at 30%. And that would have been an area that they did want to really improve in. Defensively, the Breakers got a lot of easy looks a few days ago. They've shorn that up and at the same time have picked up their offensive output, although here in the first quarter, things haven't really gotten rolling just yet.
Abercrombie heads to the bench for the Breakers. And what would Breakers fans be expecting from their captain and star stalwart Tom Abercrombie this season in the NBL? Of course, last season was railroaded by injury. What can we expect from Abercrombie this season, Case?
Well, I think he's a bit further along in his career, but defensively, I think the skill set is still there, as is that ability to shoot from the perimeter. But at the same time, I think he's going to be looking to drive a little bit more this season. The only question with Tommy is just hopefully his body can hang on.
Froling doing the work defensively. Good block. And then good defense, backing it up on Brantley. Here he is.
Forcing him into that fadeaway there. Much more difficult shot than was getting earlier.
Brantley back at him and hustling after it. The coach won't mind seeing that. Modi Mayor, of course, coaching the Breakers this season. In fact, both coaches, Casey, Modi Mayor and Jacob Jackomas, stepping up for the first time as full season head coaches. They have had opportunities through all the wild times over the last couple of years.
Well, everybody gets to step on the bench and coach a game eventually during the COVID season.
Absolutely. But both heading up these respective teams in their own right for the first time this season. That's pretty exciting.
And stepping into some big footprints. Of course, Jackomas looking to replace Brian Gorgon, never an easy task.
Well, they're as big a footsteps as you're going to get.
And for, of course, Modi Maor, he's taking the place of one of his one of the guys he really looked up to in the coaching lane. So a difficult task for him as well.
Good work there by Glidden with the hand. Which way is this going to go? It's going to fall the way of the Breakers. Just over 2.5 minutes to play in this opening quarter tonight in Franklin.
Solid defensive possession there, really active, pushing things out on the perimeter, and even had the Illawarra held possession, only 1 second left on the shot clock.
Here's Brantley, hands it off to Liafa. Loose ball here. Liafa gets back on it, but that's not going to be good enough. It was his own error. The officials all over that. Crowd starting to build up here. Late arrivals. It's actually, believe it or not, been an event-driven city here this afternoon in Franklin. We are south of Auckland. Stepping out of court there, was it?
Yeah, that's no official sign from the crew there, but that is the most likely outstanding. Didn't see an offensive foul call as we get our first look at Ryan Rupert checking into the game.
Yeah, looking forward to this, the 18-year-old Frenchman. Oof. Just down the road, just going back to what I was saying, Casey, just down the road, V8 supercars in action. So there's been a lot of traffic and a lot of people around Pukekohe here today. And I have seen a few fans rush from the racetrack to get into their basketball. They love their basketball in this part of the world.
Got some rugby on in the area as well here tonight, so all over.
Dent has it stripped, and look who comes up with it. It is the French wonder kid, Ryan Rupert, and you've been singing his praises, Casey. You like this young man.
This kid is not a kid defensively. He is going to be harassing ball handlers that right now getting a taste of it. But Ryan Rupert is going to annihilate ball handlers in the full court. Chance after chance. He is just so good and ahead of his development curve defensively. It's ridiculous.
And young Lockie Dent, the development player for the Hawks, just learning a couple of lessons here.
Isaiah Liafa gets called for the foul on that one.
Inside the last 90 seconds of this first quarter. Has been an arm wrestle. Hawks lead it by 4, 16-12, as Sam Timmins comes into the game for the Breakers. Had a good debut season, Casey. Learned a lot, obviously spending it on the road, as was the case with all of the Breakers last season. We saw flashes. No doubt he'll want to build on that this season.
Yeah, he's at a critical stage in his career where he wants to move to that next level, wants to take on more responsibility. Has had a fantastic offseason, winning the New Zealand NBL title with the Otago Nuggets. Performed well over the entirety of that, and as well as getting a large taste of Tall Blacks action this year. And he wants to take all of that experience and the wealth of knowledge that he's picked up and translate it to some court time here for the Breakers so he can contribute to their success as well.
Also, this man right here is Liafa, who really came on in leaps and bounds in his time with the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, and was actually under contract, Casey, and let the Phoenix know that he wanted to come back home. Well, here he is.
He's gotten his wish, and the Breakers are certainly pleased about that.
Breakers moving the ball around. But
that is a quick 3 seconds. I'll tell you what.
well, Rob Lowe's asking the question. He's wondering where it came from. It was called on him.
That is a fast one. And hopefully they're not going to be counting that fast all season long.
Hawks by 5, 17-12. Inside the last minute of this first quarter here at the Stockyard in Franklin. And again, this pressure up the floor.
Well, turnovers, the big problem for the Hawks right now. They've got 7 of them. They're shooting at 55% is what's given them the lead, but the Breakers yet to fire offensively, shooting just 23% in the quarter.
Yeah, that's not going to get the job done. Here's Robinson. Did all the hard work there before he got it over to Deng Deng, who finishes hard at the basket. Foul is going to be called here on Rob Lowe by the looks of it. And Deng Deng with a chance to convert the three-point play.
Deng Deng really takes on that pressure from Rob Lowe on the perimeter. Had a bit of an awkward shot fake, but kept his balance, puts the ball on the floor, and finishes strong despite the contact. You know, that athleticism he has, it's always a danger to finish towards the rim.
He has 7 in the game in this opening quarter. You can make that 8. Great start tonight for Deng Deng.
Should have kept it on 7. Lucky 7s with his jersey number there.
Not sure where he's got that jersey number from. I did have a long chat with him before the game. It's one question I didn't ask him, wearing the number 77. With the rebound, dying seconds here. Hawks to get the last shot of this opening quarter.
I'd like to see what Justin Robinson does with the ball here. Set an all-ball screen for him and let the star go to work.
And reaching in there, Sam Timmons, a foul that he just did not need to give away. Hawks working hard on the switch there.
That is an unfortunate foul, the type of foul you want to get out of the way in the preseason. Just 7 seconds on the clock. Fouling about 30 feet away from the basket, sending them to the line. Not how you want to finish the quarter. If there is a silver lining to that cloud, it's the fact the Breakers get the ball back and have a chance to score it themselves.
Well, the non-silver lining, if there's such a thing, Casey, is I think Justin Robinson will nail both of these shots. He certainly put the first away.
Oh, yeah, I was stretching for that one. there really is no silver lining on a foul away from the 30 feet out with no shot coming from 7 seconds left.
And there you go. That lead is out to 10. So the Breakers to get the last shot of this opening quarter.
Ooh.
Brown Jr. quickly to the hoop.
Gets fouled.
Well, he put the afterburners on. You saw a bit of this young man the other night, Casey. What are your early thoughts of Barry Brown Jr., the 25-year-old out of Kansas State?
Well, there has been a lot of talk about his offensive prowess, putting the ball in the hole, and that certainly is impressive. But in the short amount of time I've been able to view his game, I've been really impressed by his defensive intensity and just his pure point guard skills. He looks to get his teammates involved early, you know, as a traditional point guard. And after everybody at the table gets to eat, that's when he starts serving himself up a couple of plates and starts to really get himself involved offensively. Much like here at the end of the quarter, hasn't had a lot of looks up to this point, but gets the last one of the quarter.
Nothing like a feast when there's a couple of plates on the go, Casey. As you well know, that won't count from Justin Robinson. But a quarter time, entertaining if nothing else in this preseason game here in Franklin. 22-14, the lead to the Hawks. Your thoughts, Casey Frank?
I think a much improved performance by the Illawarra. Offensively, outside of the turnovers, they're doing a nice job of execution, and defensively really making things difficult. That's where they've really picked things up. They're playing with a good amount of physicality and defending the heck out of the three-point line right now. The Breakers have 10 attempts, but just 1 make as they work their way through things. For the Breakers, a little disjointed offensively, not playing with the smoothness that they'd like to have, and it's looking like a team that it's just their second hit out. Not quite at the level of execution, and I think concerning for Coach Modi Moore is the defensive intensity isn't where it was a couple of days ago. That's dropped just a bit. As this game goes along, I would expect them to try and lift that once again. and start capitalizing not just off of the turnovers, but force a few more missed shots to the Hawks as well.
Justin Nelson and Casey Frank with you tonight. Pre-season action in the NBL all the way from Franklin in New Zealand. I hope you're enjoying it. Busy times, in fact, for pre-season games. Melbourne United taking on Brisbane tonight. And then Perth and Adelaide tomorrow, of course, ahead of the pre-season blitz. Coming your way from next Friday. A week in beautiful tropical Darwin. Hope you all enjoy it, because we won't.
Still a different season down here.
Did you get the invite?
I did not. But it's okay. I don't check my emails very often, so maybe it came through.
That's true. Ding Ding, the star of that opening quarter for the Hawks. 8 points, 4 rebounds, and involved in everything, Case.
Yeah, he was really a focal point for them offensively. Ball coming through his hands a lot. But I think as a collective, the Illawarra, with their job on the glass, was really impressive, out-rebounding the Breakers 12-7 in that quarter. A statistic that they really got dominated a couple of days ago. So improved efficiency in that area has helped them build this 8-point lead.
And he's not afraid to put the minutes in, Ding Ding. Has he come off the floor tonight yet?
Not that I have noticed. And he is performing in those minutes as well.
Justin Robinson straight back into it for the Hawks. Out to Ding Ding, stepping around. McDowell White firing away on the deep two.
And twisting his ankle is McDowell White as he's trying to challenge that.
He did come off for a few minutes in that opening quarter. McDowell White, as you just mentioned, Casey, hobbling back the other way. We'll keep an eye on him over the next couple of minutes. There's Brown Jr. with the moves up high. Off balance with the shot. That one wasn't too far away. Timmins with the rebound, quickly out to McDowell White, and his pass is an errant one. Missed repair by a good couple of meters.
Well, good effort by William McDowell White there. We'll see how serious this ankle injury is as he gets it checked out, but wouldn't be surprised if he sits down for the rest of this one, as he had the miscue there with Ryan Rupert, who wanted to pop out for three, and McDowell White thinking, hey, why don't you cut to the basket, use that length to get a dunk. But once again, that is what the preseason is for, figuring out how your new teammates are going to play in these pink jerseys.
Here's Lubulik in the corner. He can't finish. Swaka Lubulik wearing the Hawks colours this season. Rupert is just tripped up on his way to the basket, accidentally, by Justin Robinson.
Those limbs, there's a lot of them.
There is a lot of them. He has some length, doesn't he?
They go in all directions, and when you get down on the court next to him is when it gets really impressive. I mean, all legs and arms and the size of those hands, those physical attributes that you just can't teach, that you just have to be given by the grace of by the grace of God, and he's got a lot of them. Goes along with the work rate when you speak to Coach Moore, that he is in spades. You combine those two things and you've got a great future.
Well, the pedigree of this young man, he is a graduate of the INSEP Academy, the young Frenchman. Just also happens to be the home of Tony Parker, Boris Dior, and Ronnie Turaev. So
no, a few decent Frenchmen there.
Absolutely. Froling now on Timmins, likes the matchup, goes to work on the turnaround, doesn't get the roll.
Love the aggressiveness, though. I really like it when Sam Froling decides to put the ball on the floor and use his skill set against centers, really attack him with his quickness and ball handling.
Hawks out by 8. Going hard, Brantley finishing it off. Big Sam Timmins.
Well, the sniper came through and took down Tyler Harvey. Did not get the call. Brantley sticks with it, but the stick-to-itiveness of Sam Timmins gets the ball in.
And there's the first one for the season for those that do
Preseason doesn't count.
Okay, I was going to say for those who do count. Here's Robinson's been really active. Ding Ding now. Speaking of active, that one off balance from the corner, missed. Oh, great play. Liafa finding Rupert, and that is the play of the night for the Sky Sport Breakers.
Well, perfectly delivered ball there as Isaiah Morioho Oholiafa, just over the outstretched arms of the defense to deliver a perfect pass to Repair in stride, gets the finish, and just like that, the Breakers have cut this deficit down from 8 to 4 with much improved efficiency on the offensive end.
Well, I think the Hawks coach Jacob Jackomas agreed that it was the play of the night so far because he instantly called a timeout and wanted to have a chat to his young Chargers. Speaking of young Chargers, Dan Grieder is in the house tonight. For Hawks fans wondering how he is going with his rehab. Had a good chat to Dan before the game, full of smiles as Dan usually is. Very upbeat and buoyant, and he said it won't be long before I'm back. So some good signs there.
Yeah, he's well tracked along his rehab schedule, and as exciting as I am to see his skill set back on the court, I just want to see another flowing moulet out there. That is a dirty one.
I did have a good chat to him about the mullet before the game.
It is a dirty moulet he's got going on. I'm here for it.
I said to him there'll be plenty of Kiwis that'll be very proud of seeing that.
I'm sure it's just as popular in the Australian market.
He was quick to point that out. He said it's an Aussie thing, not a Kiwi thing. He said, I don't know about that.
Everybody's claiming it. Everybody's claiming the mud flap.
Of course.
I think the southern United States might have a say there.
Oh, there you go. Of course, Grieder, not an unusual face to New Zealanders. Spent some time in the New Zealand League over here with the Nelson Giants back in 2019. Miss there from Tyler Harvey. Brown Jr. wants to get on his skates again. And he's ended up...
Charge is called.
Yeah, he has ended up with the offensive foul. I think at first two of the officials were going to go in a different direction. They sorted out between themselves.
I think the right call in the end. Brown Jr. trying to put that pressure on in transition, and Justin Robinson just wears it in the chest, taking his second charge of the game. How about that kind of commitment for an ex-NBA player, taking 2 charges in a preseason game?
Yeah, he looks a good find, doesn't he, the Hawks point guard? Been very active in this game. What about the Hawks and their chances this year? Casey, of course, they made it through to the semi-finals last season before losing to the eventual champions, the Sydney Kings. Oh, nice finish there from Swaka Labulik.
Showing the touch coming off.
Well, speaking of championship pedigree, as the Hawks go into a zone here, Wani Swaka Labulik, just 21 years of age, has already won 3 titles.
Not bad. Not bad at 21 as the defensive effort picks up for the Hawks here and doing a nice job of pushing the Breakers out past their comfort zone.
They're out by 6. Midway through the second, 24-18.
Froling gets called with the illegal screen and does not like it. But I think he just closed that space a bit quickly for the liking of the officials.
Well, I came into this game tonight, Casey, looking forward to the sideline theatrics of Modi Mayor, the coach of the Breakers. And I've got to tell you, he may have met his match back the other way because Jacob Jackomas is as theatric as you will find.
He's putting a lot of energy in there. A lot of energy, no doubt.
Something to look out for this season in the NBL. Here's Repair from the corner, misses everything.
on the floor. So the Hawks will take the ball from the sideline with 14 seconds on the shot clock and 5:16 left here in the quarter.
Froling now. Setting up the shot from the corner. Doesn't drop, and the Breakers back the other way. Just seems like, Casey, things have tightened up a little bit here as Brown Jr. comes up short.
Tell you what, as a big, when you're stuck on that island out against a really quick guard, you do feel a little sigh of relief when he decides to go with the three that you can challenge instead of taking you to the cup. Sam Froling, nice job there on the switch.
Here he is on the finish. No, put away into the crowd by Derek Pardon.
Pardon me as I get that shot out of there. I think the NBL commentary crews are going to have a lot of fun with some wordplay on Derek Pardon this season.
I've got a feeling you've been working on that one for the last couple of weeks in preparation.
They all got to come up naturally. You can't script them.
I like it. How good is it to see Dan Fortu on the court for the Breakers? Of course, he returns to New Zealand after a glittering collegiate career.
Yeah, he went where all good Australians and New Zealanders go, St. Mary's.
Yeah, absolutely.
Had a great career there, and he's excited to get back to his hometown.
Oh, Liafa. Well, he's starting to turn it on. Isaiah Liafa, a pair of triples in the last couple of minutes for the exciting young Kiwi. Back on home soil and ready to roar in the NBL this season.
And I believe that is their biggest lead of the game at 26-24 now, as their defensive intensity is starting to provide some dividends on the other end, as the efficiency in the half court has ticked up ever so slightly halfway through the second.
Breakers out by 2.
12-2 run to start this second quarter. Well, I guess halfway through. We're a little past the start now.
4 minutes to play, in fact, in this second quarter. Good setup there from the Hawks. Ding, ding. Finding the cut of Robinson.
Yeah, good cut by Robinson there, and an explosive finish showing off the athleticism on the elevation.
Here's Brown Jr. Scores are tied.
Mismatch in the post.
They work it out to Liafa. He's got another.
The punches come in bunches for Isaiah Morioho Liafa, as he's got another triple to his name.
Underneath Gak. Dondra is called for 3 seconds in the key. We've seen a couple of those so far tonight. It's a very quick count here in Franklin. Timeout called by the Breakers. They're out by 3. 3.5 to play in this opening half. Alex Madronya just goes back to double check that it was 3 seconds called. I think he reached half or 2 in his own mind.
Well, because the points have gone on the board, so I think that's what the question is. If it is a 3-second call or if the bucket's counted. Either way, we're going to keep on playing when they come back. The good thing about the preseason, it's okay if you get the score a little bit long. The wins and losses aren't quite as earth-shattering as they normally are. Nice start here to the second quarter by the Breakers, as we've seen an increased defensive presence, as well as that offensive efficiency creeping up. They're starting to just lower that efficiency for the Hawks, who are shooting nearly 60% in the first quarter, down to 33% now, 8 for 24 for the field, as the Breakers have ticked it up slightly, 34% from them, but it's the three-point line where they were just 1 for 10 in the first quarter. Well, they've hit 3 of 5 here in the second, and you combine that with holding the Hawks to 1 for 9 from deep in the game. That is why they've been able to claw their way to the lead.
Well, we talked about the Hawks last season, Casey, and their run to the finals before exiting at the hands of Sydney. Do we dare talk about the season for the Breakers, the one that they're coming off? Because it was anything but successful.
No, it was, well, they did get,
it was tough.
They got the Executive of the Year for Simon.
They did.
So you get GM of the Year. So that was there was their victory for the season. But yeah, it was a tough year, and they just can't wait to play back on home soil.
Liafa. Well, how about this second quarter effort from Izzy Liafa? If he's not doing it from downtown, he's prepared to take it all the way to the basket in traffic.
Well, showing the full skill set. Such a strong player on both ends of the court. Shows it off on the drive there.
He's into double digits on the move. Hard drive from Gak. Turned away by the Breakers. Here he is again, Liafa. Had a quick glimpse at a shot. He wants to keep firing away here. Pardon inside, tough stuff. Met hard at the basket by Madronya.
Well, nice challenge by Madronya there, being able to really use his physicality.
Harvey, can he get going? Madronya after it again into the corner. They'll get a third look here. Harvey searching. Takes it out to the left wing, fires away. That was halfway down, bobbled back out. Just over 2 minutes to play in this opening half. Breakers by 5. Pardon now. Banging bodies down low. Tough stuff. Can't finish. Early signs in this preseason game.
Feeling it.
Oh, Liafa.
Feeling it.
That's his 4th of the quarter.
He is putting it together. He is up to 14 points.
And more importantly, Casey, they've all come in this second quarter. On fire at the moment. Robinson unable to respond. I was just talking about Derek Pardon, and he's got a real thirst to bang bodies, hasn't he?
He's a traditional big. He is out there throwing his weight around, enjoys the physicality.
Oh, here we go. Oh.
Let him eat. Just keep on trying. When you get going like that, he has been known to hit a triple or 8 in the NBL at times. Has had some huge outbursts for the Phoenix.
Speaking of 8s, they're out by 8. As again, Harvey just unable to buy a bucket at the moment. McDowell White back into the action off that ankle tweak.
Miscommunication there as Morioho Liafa needed to put the ball on the floor. Hawks don't make him pay as Deng Deng misses out of the corner.
Well, they're firing away, aren't they? Plenty of opportunities in the last few minutes for the Hawks.
1 make from deep, 12 misses, 1 for 13 from beyond the arc.
Dying seconds of this opening half, preseason game. McDowell White looking to feed. Pardon stripped away. Here comes Robinson. He wears the Liafa foul. Justin Robinson, who at the moment is doing all he can to keep the Hawks in this game. They led early. In fact, at quarter time, they held a handy 8-point lead, but it's been a 20-4 run in this second quarter by the Breakers. And you can put that down to a really hot patch by the man who's just subbed out, Isaiah Liafa.
Hot patch? They've given up 4 points in a quarter. It is about this suffocating defense to me. The way they play when they've got their heads on a swivel and they're really pressuring, I think that's going to be their identity this season, is just strong defensive play that'll feed their offense. And they have a lot of bodies to throw at you here in the preseason.
Well, I think if you're a Breakers fan, Casey, one thing you'll be happy with what's happened in this second quarter is they're doing it at both ends of the floor, aren't they? They're challenging and making it hard at one end, and they're moving the ball like this at the other. Glidden with the triple, his second of the game, and the Breakers on a steamrolling run into the half. Robinson, tough shot on the buzzer, just floating through midair, challenged and off balance. Big shot there from Justin Robinson. But the first half, and in particular the second quarter, belongs to the Breakers. They lead at the half 37-31.
Well, what a finish by both teams, really ticking things up on both ends. Justin Robinson now sitting with 13 points, just 1 behind leading scorer Isaiah Morioho Liafa with 14, and both players doing a lot of damage in that second quarter.
Your thoughts to the half?
defensive effort by the Breakers, coming through, putting the pressure on and showing what they can do when they are able to capitalize off those forced turnovers. The Hawks, great start, but need to find that fire they saw early. They are, of course, short, don't have all imports, and the Ting is on the bench as well, not sitting this one out, so a little short-handed, but they still got to find a way to pick up that intensity, especially on the defensive end in the second half.
NBL preseason action coming to you from Pukekohe, City of Franklin tonight, south of Auckland, as the Sky Sport Breakers and the Illawarra Hawks prepare for the season ahead. At the half, it's the Breakers off the back of a commanding second quarter. They lead this one 37-31. Don't go away. Second half coming up soon.
Well, did anyone see that? My eyesight's really bad. I didn't see it at all. Do we think he should do another shot? That's allowed us in. All right, let's put your hands in the air for Charlie. And Charlie's good hug. With 4 seconds, courtside, the Skyclub Breakers take on the Tasmanian Jack Jumpers, 7th of October. Individual ticket sales are coming soon. Make sure you check. Enter Breakers.basketball for all ticket information. Let's see if we can do a half-court shot before they come out. Half-court shot. Where we go? One half-court shot. Oh, I think the guys are coming back soon, so let's do this quickly. All right, Rebecca is going to try for a half-court shot. Sorry, another thing. She's going to try for a half-court shot. Which basket do we go there? Oh, she knows. All right, let's count it down. 5. Whoa! That had good line. Great line. But also my eyesight is having really trouble. So I didn't see that, but let's just give Rebecca another try, shall we?
Hello and welcome back to the Stockyard tonight in the city of Franklin for some NBL pre-season action between the New Zealand Breakers and the Illawarra Hawks. Justin Nelson and Casey Frank with you, minutes away from the start of the second half, and it's a half where the Hawks will be hoping they can bounce back strongly. Started well tonight, led at quarter time by 8, but then the Breakers got going, and they did it at both ends of the floor, Casey. They lead at the half by 6, 37-31.
Yeah, that defensive effort really impressive in the second quarter. That first quarter, the Hawks shot 50% at 6 for 12. In that second quarter, they were only able to manage 3 for 20 from the field, and that's due to the pressure that the Breakers were putting on, forcing the Hawks into positions that they weren't able to find efficiency out of. And at the same time, their offense picked up, enabling them to hit the front with the lead. But with 20 minutes left to go, and I'm sure both teams working on what needs to be worked on in the changing sheds, we could see an improved effort here in the third quarter from the Hawks coming back.
We've talked a little bit tonight about the NBL preseason blitz starting in Darwin next Friday night. A week of entertainment coming your way. All teams at the blitz playing 3 games apiece. Can't wait for that. And then, of course, we look further ahead to round 1 in the NBL. The Breakers away to open the season, taking on Melbourne United. The Hawks will be at home to the Kings. For the Breakers, it's been a long time since they've been at home. Their first home game of the season comes up on the 7th of October, up against the Jack Jumpers. It'll be their first ever visit to New Zealand. We look forward to that. What a season they had on debut, the Tasmania Jack Jumpers. And, of course, all of the action will be coming your way through Sky Sport here in New Zealand with Casey Frank. And Andrew Mulligan will be back in the hot seat once again. The A-team getting back together. I bet you two guys just can't wait to get back into action because it has been a bit of a break.
It's been a while between drinks. It has been a while between drinks, and we're thirsty. Can't wait to get back to it. It's one of my favorite stats about the Jack Jumpers coming over to make their first visit to New Zealand is, of course, the Jack Jumpers got their first road victory ever.
I reckon you and Mullins might be just about the longest continuous commentary combo in the NBL. How many years has it been?
That's wait, we started in 2010.
You two guys actually give each other birthday gifts these days.
He gives. Am I supposed to do that?
Oh, well, sorry.
Oh no.
One of you gives.
Oh no.
Right.
Are we supposed to reciprocate? I'm not good at these things. It's a great partnership I've enjoyed with Moles over the years.
Absolutely.
Happy to rekindle it as often as possible. May this gig never leave me.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Not too far away from a start here to the second half.
Looking at here in the second half, I'd really like to see the Hawks just initiate their offense a little bit more quickly. Right now, the full court pressure of the Breakers has kept the Illawarra from really getting into their offensive sets until there's 12, 11 seconds left on the clock. If they can get up there, set up with about 17, and find a little bit more time at the end of that shot clock when that defense is scrambling around, I think they'll have a better opportunity to score buckets. They need to improve from three. They just haven't been able to find the distance there in that second quarter. And zipping that ball around the perimeter, making the defense bend before attacking it on the other side is a great way to do it.
In terms of players missing tonight, Casey, for the Hawks, of course, Dan Greeder rehabbing from injury. He is in the building tonight on the sidelines. Great to see Dan. And as he spoke prior to the game to us, he said he wasn't too far away, so we look forward to his return. And import George King is back in the States on family business at the moment, but expected back into Australia in the very near future, and he'll be a welcome inclusion for the Hawks ahead of the upcoming season. Tom Vidanovic missing tonight for the Sky Sport Breakers. Any news as we get underway in this second half on Tommy V?
I don't think he's that far away here in the preseason. They do want to make sure he's back full strength before they've been him into things.
Good setup for the Breakers. What a play that was to run straight off the bat. Abercrombie, the recipient in the end with the triple, but that was lovely to watch.
And, of course, Thomas Abercrombie, who not really involved in the scoring at all in the first half, 0 for 2 from the field. They give him the first look, and he delivers.
Froling wide open, look back the other way, off the back of the iron.
The Breakers starting a different lineup here in the second half than they did in the first. Sending Brown Jr., Brantley to the bench, giving Glidden and Rob Lowe a chance in that first unit.
Here is Lowe. Glidden now. Loves to run the arc with and without the ball, Cam Glidden.
It looks like Swakalo Bullock called for a bit of a tug on the jersey of Tom Abercrombie there.
And no doubt one of the reasons the Breakers have brought in Cam Glidden, Casey, we know he's talented, but he's also loaded with experience, and he'll help some of these young players for the Breakers take their next steps. Signed a 2-year agreement. Here he is now defensively on Harvey, who just hasn't got going tonight.
Breakers have defended him well. The length, I think, of the squad as a collective giving him trouble.
Robinson can't get the roll. And one of the things Hawks fans will be looking towards this season, Casey, especially early days, will be that combination of Harvey and Robinson, hoping that they can just gel and work together.
Oh, Robinson called for a foul after getting pipped by that Pardon screen there. And Robinson saying, did you see the contact as the screen was happening? Is there perhaps anything there you would like to consider? But to no avail.
What are your early thoughts on that Harvey and Robinson combination? We've only seen 20-odd minutes.
It's, it's always, I think, interesting for players who are probably at their best with the ball in hand, having to play off one of each other. And so it's going to have to be a bit of time as they form. Oh, as Thomas Abercrombie gets a hard foul up front, but it takes a bit of time to form those partnerships and really learn where the other player likes to get it and how you can work off of one another. And it takes a little bit more time when you got ball dominant guys. So I think obviously the skill is unquestioned. As players, they're both fantastic resumes. Harvey has already done in this league for multiple seasons, and I have no doubt he and Robinson will figure out the way to work best together.
Here's Dent, who's just come onto the floor for Robinson. Dumps it off inside. Mid-air decision. Froling up over the top of Pardon. And he's a very, very tough defensive player, Derek Pardon. One to watch this season, making life tough at the moment for the Hawks. On the interior, Cam Glidden, you just don't want to give that man that sort of space.
That's just lovely basketball. Attacking from swinging the ball around, attacking to paint, kicking it out, and zooming it around again, forcing the defense to scramble as Pardon forces another steal.
And off they go, and he finishes at the basket. He'll get the and one. Derek Pardon showing all the aggression that the Breakers fans are going to love and enjoy watching this season.
Man, defensively, they are something. Derek Pardon, a little bit undersized at the center position in height, but not in strength or length. He has both those in barrelfuls and showed both of them on that play. First, the length, getting in the passing lane, forcing the steal, then leaking out and using that athleticism and size for the finish on the rim. Dent getting the foul, forcing him to the free throw line for the three-point play, the old-fashioned way.
Well, it's already an 8-zip run in this third quarter to the Breakers. And since quarter time, it's been a 31-9 blitz by the Breakers to bust this game wide open. They lead by 14, 45-31.
And that's 31-9, and that's with 5 points in about a minute and a half in the end of that quarter. So over this past stretch, this defense has been absolutely suffocating. I'm surprised more people in the gym aren't asking for oxygen, because the Breakers have taken all of the oxygen out of it for the Hawks. They are giving them absolutely zero opportunities to get settled into things offensively, really extending that defense well beyond the three-point line, just never letting them catch the ball where they want to catch it.
Would it be wrong of me, Casey, to suggest that a lot of the talk out of the Breakers camp over the last few years has been about their scoring punch and their offensive prowess and look out, we're going to do this? But what we've seen so far tonight is there's a heck of a lot of work that's gone in at the defensive end.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent observation there. You know, you hear a lot about when imports are coming in and the players are coming in, how we're going to fill it up, how we're going to do this, do that, but the name of the game has never changed. You got to defend. You got to stop guys on the other end, and if you can combine that with an offense that can take opportunities that you create, you are in to do some serious damage.
Well, we're seeing a little bit of it early days here. Rob Lowe just collecting the arm of Tyler Harvey. And Harvey at the moment just has 2 points for the game.
Not able to get himself involved. 17 minutes, 1 for 7 from the field, and 0 for 6 from 3.
It's not often you're going to see that this season. Here's Dent. Hot ball into the corner. Too hot on that occasion for Deng Deng. He was the star early going in this game. 8 points, 4 rebounds over the opening quarter.
And he has not scored since, but has picked up the rebounds. 7 rebounds to his name now, but just another player who's finding difficulty to put the ball in the bucket for the Hawks.
And for trivia buffs who love their basketball, here's McDowell White. He'll get it back. Deng Deng is officially listed, when you do a little bit of research, here with the Hawks, of course, as Rob Lowe finishes. Second stint with the Hawks, but also time with the Kings and the Bullets. I wonder if people remember that he actually spent some time with the Breakers.
He did spend some time with the Breakers. I don't know if
did not play
I don't
one
know if Dan Shamir was really appreciative of Deng Deng's game. I remember them rushing him over in a very short amount of time as an injury replacement and then never seeing the floor.
Did not play 1 second.
As Tyler Harvey looking for a bit more of that contact to be called.
Oh, great pass inside. Will McDowell White finding Rob Lowe underneath the hoop.
It's starting to get surgical for the Breakers. The clinic is open. Offensively, they are making the extra pass, turning good shots into great shots, and the defense hasn't let up at all.
Margin at 19. And the Breakers look smooth. Early signs are good. Harvey inside again, searching for another basket.
Oh, I love a big man fast break.
Abercrombie.
Pardon to low to Abercrombie. Just missing as Robinson forces the foul on Thomas Abercrombie.
And he'll get the points by the looks of it as well.
Count
Justin
that
Robinson. Tell you what, he's done that a few times tonight, Casey, and I've got a feeling that opposition coaches across the NBL will be having a look at Justin Robinson. One thing that he does well is just before he's about to run into that defensive player, he changes from his left to his right. And he's drawing contact every time.
Yeah, he's forcing the action, and that is such a valuable skill as a scorer, is the ability to force that contact and get the whistle in your favor. He scores that one again as he adds to his leading total for the Hawks.
That's the 8th time he's been fouled in this game.
Up to 14 points.
So definitely a strength there of Robinson. Here he is on young Rayan Rupert. His ability to draw fouls is going to catch teams out this season, Justin Robinson. He's quick, dynamic, can get to the basket. And he is causing a couple of headaches here tonight. Mind you, he needs a little bit of help. The Hawks are down by 16. As once again the Breakers go to work. They're going to run out of time though. Shot clock sounds on the Brantley make. And with just under 5 minutes to play in this third quarter, a rare error there.
Well, Brantley had that matchup that he wanted, went straight to the post, just ran out of time as Madronia and Thomas Abercrombie getting locked up.
Well, how are the officials going to see this? Because they're having a chat with each other, and in the end, Abercrombie wears the foul.
I'll tell you what, if Madronia would have worn that one, that'd be tough as a player falls down on you when you try to catch it.
Just always like it when there's two whistles that go at the same time and there's that quick glance to go, what were you going to call?
Good nonverbal communication by the officiating crew today.
What can the Hawks do here?
I'd say one thing they might want to do is put the ball back in the hands of Justin Robinson and let him continue to go to work.
Well, they've done that. Steps it out to the corner for Swaka Lebullock. He can't convert. One man who probably doesn't want the ball in his hands there is Derek Pardon.
But he just has a nose for it. He really
does.
Getting his hand on a lot of basketballs here early. Just a knack for finding it.
And again, the Breakers putting it through hands. Robinson, tenacious as he has been from the opening play in this game, nearly forces the turnover. 8 seconds on the shot clock now, so the Breakers need to go to work. Brantley
doesn't see the shot clock, got to get it off.
Steps back on the crowd, screaming out to him. Can't convert from the corner.
Things have gone cold here for the Breakers just a bit as Justin Robinson continues to force the action on Breakers defenders. I love this change in mindset by him. He's felt this physicality from the Breakers all day long, but now he's being the aggressor. He's on the front foot, forcing the contact, no longer being shy about it. And with his quickness and explosive ability with the ball in hand, he has forced another foul.
9th time he's been fouled tonight.
And he'll be at the free throw line when we come out of this timeout as well.
It is a stat to keep an eye on.
Just a really underrated skill, I think. You know, it doesn't make for the prettiest basketball. You see guys like James Harden in his prime gets the detractors about all he does is get fouled. And, you know, you try getting fouled 10 times a game and see what that feels like with the ball in hand. It is the ability to put points on the board when things aren't going well offensively, I think is as valuable as anything for a coach and a scorer.
Just over 4 minutes to play in this third quarter tonight. Preseason action in the NBL. Hope you're enjoying it. Justin Nelson, Casey Frank with you. The Breakers lead this one by 16. Still a long way to go. What have you made of the pre-season signings across the NBL? Casey, no doubt you would have been doing your research ahead of your commentary work coming up over the summer months. What are your thoughts?
It just seems like the league goes from strength to strength year after year.
I hope you've been doing your homework.
Well, to be perfectly honest, Justin, I'm about a month out from the regular season, so I haven't done quite as much. Haven't written my books up, but I always keep an eye on it.
I glanced over and saw the look on your face on that lead, and I thought, oh, hang on.
Well, I'm no Liam Santamaria over here. I'm definitely not putting in that much effort.
He started his homework in May, didn't he?
I mean, to be fair, he's half my homework. He's just paying attention to what he's putting up together, the job that Peter Hooley himself, Corey Williams do over there, just always fantastic. But look, I mean, it's just been so impressive to see the quality of player and the quality of team play that we continue to see in Australia.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's so heartening to see, and I just can't wait to get into it, for the games to count, and to have basketball back in New Zealand at this level.
And I think excitingly, for Kiwi fans, it's not just about, great setup there, Brantley to Pardon.
I think they counted it as a 2, but that would have been a 3 had Pardon not touched it.
I wouldn't mind seeing that one again, because I reckon Pardon's got a fingertip on that, and that might be what the officials are talking about here.
Well, if it's on the way down and it's in the cylinder, that may be a goaltend, so we'll see what they talk about it.
Well, certainly got the crowd on their feet. Now all three officials are going to have a chat, and I'll tell you who he's talking about it just as much off the ball is Justin Robinson. It is going to count as a 2.
Justin Robinson had your point, that it should have been a goaltend. You can't hit the ball in the cylinder on the way down. But that's what the officials were actually talking about, is if Pardon touched it or not. He did. 2 points to call.
It's just saying about Kiwi fans, not just of the Breakers, but across the NBL. I think at the moment, with a couple of recent signings and development player contracts, Casey, there's 16 Kiwis at the moment set to line up in the NBL this season. I think there was 19 or 20 last season. So again, for fans of the NBL across the ditch here in New Zealand, there's a lot of local talent coming through, isn't there?
The game in New Zealand is going through an explosion. I think similar to what Australia went through a few years back. I think the investment and the attention span of New Zealand has become more focused on basketball, and it's creating greater opportunities for male and female players all over the country. And you're seeing some of that here as a lot of youth is moving over to Australia this year. Not quite as many veterans as we've had in years past, but that next generation of players is starting to put their hands up. But, man, there's a lot of talent to compete with. A lot of guys want those spots.
And I think as the NBL just continues to get better and better year on year, what it also does is, great work there by the Hawks. Nearly their best basket of the game.
That kind of night for Tyler Harvey.
Just not dropping for him.
Just can't buy a bucket.
Yeah, what's happening is the standard on those next level leagues is raising as well. We're seeing it through NBL 1. We're seeing it, of course, through the Sal's NBL here in New Zealand. They've just come off a monster season that many were claiming was one of the best ever. So we are seeing, while the bar raises year on year in the NBL, it also forces or certainly helps the bar to raise on those feeder leagues as well.
Rising tides lift all ships. That is, I think, something that we are seeing when you are seeing the role players that are getting a chance with improved opportunity against improved competition, able to hone those skills. As we all know, only iron sharpens iron.
Another favourite saying there of Casey Frank as Froling feeds Madronya down the lane.
Nice cut by Madronya. Excellent pass there by Froling for the easy finish.
Lead at 17. Brown, Brantley. I reckon that might have been his own error. In the end, it was.
Yeah, he tried to say it went off somebody else, but his heart wasn't in the argument.
It was a very limp-wristed, half-cocked elbow point, wasn't it?
It was a maybe. Maybe this one goes my way? No? Okay.
Couple of minutes to play out in this third quarter. The Hawks hanging around. But at the moment, it's a margin that's going to be tough to cut, although that will certainly help Spinning back to his left, Sam Froling. Timmins with the foul.
Well, that's a couple of times I've really liked the recognition on Sam Froling about who's guarding him when he's got Sam Timmins on him. He's got a bit of a foot speed advantage there. And when he sees Timmins closing out on him, he's been happy to put the ball on the floor and attack the rim.
Let's not forget that Sam Froling, who's a co-captain of the Hawks this season along with Tyler Harvey, he's only 22 years of age. Let's not forget that.
It's tough to remember that when the guy's the size of a mountain, especially with his skill set. But, yeah, the future, still a lot of it ahead of him.
Strong take to the basket by Jarrell Brantley, the 196, 26-year-old out of the Charleston Cougars. Pick 50 in the 2019 NBA draft, picked up by the Indiana Pacers before being traded to the Utah Jazz. Doesn't complete the N1 from the line. 16-point margin now for the home team in this preseason NBL clash tonight.
Look at this defensive unit the Breakers have out there right now.
And they're all over Robinson.
Foul at the rim, foul on repair from behind. But when they get these lanky lineups out there, defensive player Brantley, I think he's going to be a thorn in the side of a lot of players this year.
Does the amount of fouls that you have collected count as a double-double? Because he's up to 10. That's fouls on, not fouls for.
No.
That's fouls on.
I think traditionally no, but I don't mind your point.
I like it. Converted one at the line. Froling kept it alive for the Hawks. Deng Deng nowhere to go. Got to work here. Harvey hasn't been his night. Unlikely that one would have dropped. Timmins with the take. Quickly up the floor. Skipping left, skipping right. And I reckon he'll be called for a travel. He will in the end.
Ooh.
Barry Brown Jr. gets the explanation. No, I'm with you, Casey, and I reckon the crowd's with you as well.
Yeah, that looked like a good move. He picked it up. I think the angle Chris Reed had there was a little bit difficult behind the play. But sometimes the call goes your way, sometimes it doesn't.
Is booing allowed in preseason games?
Booing's always allowed in Franklin.
From the corner. Madronia with the triple. Handy stuff there.
He's putting together a solid third quarter here as he's getting a bit more of an opportunity.
Here's one man we haven't seen a lot of in this quarter. He lit it up in the second quarter with 14 points, Izzy Liafa. Here's Brantley. Switches it out. Tough pass for Brown to take. Robinson nearly stepped into that lane. Brown Jr. now. One way, then the other on the left wing. Fires away, goes deep. Repair was after it. Deng Deng with another rebound. He's been big on the boards tonight. Surely one will drop soon. There you go.
And
Tyler Harvey.
All of a sudden we got ourselves a ball game. 9-point deficit from it's been much bigger than that at times, but they have drawn it right back.
And you know they're on a bit of a run because one man finding voice at the moment on the sidelines is coach Jacob Jackomas, who's refound that early game energy, pacing that sideline.
He's got to like what he sees from his team. You know, we're talking about a preseason game on the road. It's not the warmest in here as night has kicked in, and they were down a lot of points at different times in this game. Looked like the Breakers might be pulling away with it, but this is the kind of thing you love to see from your team as a coach, a bit of fight. They're coming back in it. The wins and the losses might not matter, but they're kind of out there playing for a bit of pride, trying to get this win, trying to show that they've improved on that performance from the other night.
We talked about players missing tonight, Casey. We'll come back to that off this final play of the third quarter. Here's Robinson, nearly tripped over his own feet. Pressure from Brantley, fires away. This will be big. Oh, look at that. The Hawks, all of a sudden, as the buzzer sounds for three-quarter time, have closed this one down to 6. Seems like moments ago they were down by 17. What a storming run from the Illawarra Hawks to finish that third quarter. And just like that, they are right back in it.
Whoa, what a change of events. And it didn't take too long. Impressive finish to the quarter by the Hawks there, turning around and getting themselves right back in it. At different times in this game, the lead has been big. The biggest lead for the Breakers was 19 points in that third quarter, and they've cut it all the way back to 6.
Well, it was 6 at halftime. It's 6 at three-quarter time, but your point is the critical one. It did blow out to 19 midway through the third.
That did, and I think that's overall, I don't think they got the biggest scoring run in a game, but what a job to come in after 13 straight points by the Breakers and turn that back around here in the third, and they did it in a short amount of time. I mean, to go from a 19-point lead to 6, and it goes both ways. The Breakers were up 6, went on that 13-0 run. Looked like they had the ball in hand, but the Hawks clawing their way back.
We mentioned George King missing tonight for the Illawarra Hawks, along with Dan Greeter, but one player who has not suited up tonight, he's down on the sidelines, is Mangot Mathiang.
Yeah, he's a huge presence for them as well. His defense, his physicality is something that they're going to need, especially against a team like the Breakers with their talented front line. They've been able to stay in the glass, in the competition on the glass without his presence for the most part.
Feels like they're winning it tonight, the rebounds.
At times they've been up, at times they've been down. They're now down just 3. 33-30 is the advantage to the Breakers. But it was much bigger at times in that third quarter. But once again, a testament to the mindset of this team, keeping their nose to the grindstone and putting in the work. And because of that, they're right back in this ballgame.
Well, they are missing some tall timber with King and Mathiang not playing. But we do have a game on our hands tonight. NBL preseason action coming your way. Justin Nelson, Casey Frank with you. Just 6 points in it as this final quarter gets underway here tonight from the Stockyard in Franklin, south of the city of Auckland. There's Rupert getting up strong. Liafa finishing it off. 14 points in the second quarter tonight for Isaiah Liafa. Adds a basket there to start the last.
He's in every other quarter scorer today. It shows off the touch, the free throw line runner.
He may be left out there for a while by Coach Modi Mayor. Good setup underneath. Deng Deng claiming he copped one to the nose. No whistle. Brown Jr. sneaks in from the corner. Chance to tap it in for Pardon. Hawks equal to the task. Robinson now quickly down the floor. Fires away. That one in and out.
Ooh, that was a good look there. Plenty of space. Good awareness to know he had the time. Just couldn't drop it.
Breakers by 8. Brown Jr. looking to get going.
Oh, what a hand by Swakalo Bullock there.
Did very well. Gets it back here. Has Deng Deng in front of him. Somehow he got through there. Deng Deng missed the putback.
Foul's going to be called on Derek Pardon, I believe. The officials have a little bit of a chat about it. I think they're talking if it's shooting or not shooting. Going to go on the baseline.
Well, I think between LeBullock and Deng Deng, they had about 7 different decisions running through their mind then. It was a 2-on-1 advantage. They don't come up with the points.
And Isaiah Morioho Oholiafa does well on an island there, defending 2 players to force the miss. But good hustle by Deng Deng to keep possession to the Hawks.
And here go the Hawks. Harvey inside mid-air, changed his mind. It was enough for Brantley to pick it off. He puts it up for Pardon.
Might have been some contact.
He certainly thought there was. Maybe has a claim to make. Harvey trying to get going, and just like that, Pardon was down there to meet him at the other end with the rebound.
Love that hustle. Missed the shot on one end. Not happy about the call, but still gets back into it, and then back on the other again.
Comes up short with the shot. Foul there on Liafa.
He's just slowing down possession there on that one. Trying to allow the Breakers to get set.
Alex Madronia, the South Australian, a product of the Australian Institute of Sport, 23 years of age. Has done some nice things here tonight. A bit to look forward to for Hawks fans.
And his reinsertion into that lineup in that latter half of the third quarter coincided with the run the Hawks went on.
Here's Froling. And Pardon, what a matchup that's been tonight. Maybe Froling will get the better of it. Oh, Pardon came through. Got a hand, but part of the arm as well.
That's high-level basketball both ways there, Madronia.
Abercrombie picked up the foul, by the way.
Madronia and Froling working that on ball, the kick back, the cut away. Great awareness offensively. Defensively, the breakers hustling, working their way into the rotation, not giving up the easy bucket. Froling goes to the line, hits the first.
Speaking with Hawks assistant coach Paul Mallett a little bit earlier on tonight, and apparently the Hawks fly out of Auckland late tomorrow. So they're going to spend a little bit of time in the city of Auckland tomorrow. Any suggestions for the Hawks? What should they get out and do tomorrow on a Sunday?
Oh, go down to Mission Bay.
There you go.
Get yourselves an ice cream if it's a nice day.
Nice.
Why not head up to the Domain, visit the museum, learn a little bit about New Zealand's history.
There you go.
But if I know basketball players, they will sleep. They will take a big nap.
What time's checkout? 6-point margin on those makes. Foul called on Deng Deng. Third personal foul for him tonight. Plenty of NBL preseason action. Melbourne United and Brisbane in action tonight. Tomorrow, Perth and Adelaide. Plenty of changes in some of those teams. Of course, the Perth Wildcats, dare we mention it this early in the season, Casey? They will be out for revenge, won't they? Because it's been a long time between drinks that they haven't played finals basketball. Oh, the young man from France
drops the shoulder, gets called for it.
Yeah, certainly did. Charging his way to the basket.
Good aggressiveness, though, with the shot clock rolling down.
Well, many people at the moment projecting Rayan Rupert in 2023 to be a first-round NBA draft pick. You don't want to put too much pressure on the shoulders of an 18-year-old, but he does come with some very, very high praise.
And seeing where he is projected, just based on what I've seen in this short amount of time, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes a little bit higher than that.
Here's Froling, working hard defensively. Liafa, Rob Lowe comes in to assist. Oh, Abercrombie with the handles to keep it alive. Everyone runs away from him.
Got to get it across quickly, almost an 8-second call.
And I'll tell you who was all over it was Justin Robinson. He knew exactly what was going on there.
Heads up play by Justin Robinson as that ball took a bit of time to corral. Isaiah Morioho-Liafa unable to get it across because of that pressure. And the Hawks, no quit in the squad from the Gong.
I've got no doubt this 24-year-old product of Virginia Tech is going to win over a lot of hearts in Illawarra this season. Here he is in the action again. Robinson with another two. He moves to 23.
That is a real nice bit of skill there, coming to his left hand. Thomas Abercrombie on his side, and he's looking to force that contact while still getting into his motion.
We mentioned it earlier, Casey, as we've got a timeout. We mentioned it earlier that, the success of the Hawks this season might come down in part to the ability of Tyler Harvey and Justin Robinson to coexist.
I think that's always a challenge when you have two scorers that do like the ball in hand, that look at their best when they're dribbling with it. Tyler Harvey, he's done it for a couple of years. I remember watching him in this actual gym a couple of seasons ago on the Breakers' return from Australia, and him absolutely putting the pedal down in the fourth quarter. He's got that ability, but it will be determined by their ability to play off one another. It's not just about taking turns. It's about finding some kind of rhythm where both players can coexist equally, not just your turn, my turn type situation.
Some of the other stats tonight from the line. The Hawks are 17 of 20. The Breakers are 8 of 12. You can almost thank Justin Robinson for much of that 17 from the foul line. He's been hit more times than Mike Tyson this evening. He has 23 in the game. Liafa has 16 for the Breakers. Deng Deng leading all players on the boards with 11 rebounds tonight. And Will McDowell White has 5 assists. Some of the stats midway through the fourth quarter of this NBL preseason game. Breakers lead by 4, back underway.
Really looking to see who executes better down the stretch here at this early point in the season.
From the elbow, McDowell White adds 2 out of the timeout.
Just easy as you like. His first bucket of the game, and it's a smooth one.
Oh, big finish. Deng Deng flying in over the top of Rob Lowe.
That moves him to a double-double. 10 points to go with those 11 rebounds now.
Oh, we know all about his athleticism. One of the players to watch in the NBL. Here's Harvey firing away quickly. Opposite number 1, Brantley with the rebound.
No, it's a great look. Could have put a lot of pressure on the Breakers if they could have hit it that. Things
just going up a level here. Brantley called for the offensive foul after the give to Abercrombie.
Yeah, Brantley loves to throw his weight around screening the basketball, just a little too aggressive on Madronia there, as the Hawks have another opportunity to cut into this 4-point deficit.
Spent some time in the G League with the Salt Lake City Stars and Greensboro Swarm. Jarrell Brantley finds himself in New Zealand and preparing for the NBL season. Now hooking, offensive foul called on Tyler Harvey. Gee, it just has not been his night tonight. 5 points in the game. And in fact, he's going to be subbed out of the game as Madronia comes back in.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of foul trouble one on that one as we check out the stats and see that it was his
third or fourth. You're only showing him on the scoreboard here as 1.
Yeah, that's his first. Never mind.
Well, there you go.
Gets him up putting Madronia back in the ballgame.
I was thinking third. Here's Abercrombie from the corner. Definitely not sitting because of foul trouble. Here's Robinson. He's one man that can get this team going. Just charging and bullocking his way through. Wanted the foul called.
There's a bit of contact there. Brantley got his hands on the ball as well, but when Justin Robinson, he forces that action. He's forcing that action all day, and at times when you're that aggressive with the basketball in hand, you're not going to get the call.
Can we get a fouls on count update on Justin Robinson tonight, because he leads the way clearly. He's got 10 times he's been fouled. Loves to wear contact, goes hard. He's a slippery customer. Madronia. Oh, it does well on the turn back. Rob Lowe meets him there, and with the finish.
Wow.
Sam Froling. That had everything.
Adjustment on the fly by Alex Madronia there. The block by Rob Lowe. Madronia doesn't give up on the play and uses that great court vision to set up Froling for the slam.
He's out to 12 in the game now, Froling. And he'll get called for the foul here, will he? Or we got something off the ball?
Brantley away from the basketball, involved with Justin Robinson. I didn't see what happened, but the call is an elbow high.
Well, Justin Robinson stepped off the back of the court here. He's coming back onto the court now.
That's his third foul.
So clearly some contact off the ball. Harvey steps back onto the floor.
Third foul for Brantley. Foul trouble for the Breakers. Thomas Abercrombie with 4. Isaiah Liafa with 4. Foul trouble for the Hawks. Robinson, Froling, and Deng all on 3.
2-point margin here for the Breakers. Just over 4.5 to play. Harvey fires again. Was there contact there? He certainly thought there was. Maybe had a claim. Will McDowell White coming through. Here's Brantley back the other way. That one in and out. And the margin stays at 2. Whistles going everywhere right now.
Ooh, we blow the whistle because we have a wet spot But that might have taken away a fast break opportunity as Robinson delivered to Froling.
Well, I think Rob Lowe was just letting the officials know exactly the same, Casey. Let us score the basket, then you can clean the floor. I think we're in for a close one here tonight. I know plenty of people talk about preseason games counting for nothing. I don't really buy into that when there's 4.5 to go and it's a 2-point margin.
Well, if it's worth playing, it's worth winning.
There you go.
What else are you going to do?
My point exactly. I think you're going to see this one start to load up down the stretch. Speaking of loading up, how good's Justin Robinson kicking out that left leg, and that's what he's going to get called for.
The offensive foul. Robinson surprised about that call.
Look at Barry Brown Jr. from the Breakers. Just went straight to the official and said, yes, yes, yes. Maybe a bit of a statement there from Brown Jr. that isn't the first time it's happened tonight.
Breakers have struggled offensively here in this fourth quarter.
Here's Brown Jr. launching from distance. Can't complete it. Froling with the rebound. Happy to bring it up in some part. Robinson now. And that is foul number 11.
And that will send him back to the free throw line.
Well,
where he has been successful.
He probably needs to head home to Illawarra late tomorrow and go out caravan shopping.
Where are we going with this? I can't wait.
Well, I just think he spends that much time at the foul line. He might as well set up a caravan, a picnic basket, a campfire. I think he might spend a fair bit of time there this season. You might as well take a caravan, just hitch one on and take it there with you.
13 free throw attempts so far, 11 for 13 there. And him and Brown Jr. still talking about the offensive foul.
Well, you saw them in action a couple of nights ago. What was the behavior between those two players then?
As a collective, it was competitive. Both players are high quality, certainly want to win, but I think the performance that night or that afternoon of the Hawks wasn't what they wanted, so they were a bit perturbed by that, and letting the Breakers know that it's not always going to be this easy. This is early on, and they have come and proven it as Robinson misses that one. Can't tie the game now, but with 3:45 to go, they have just completely turned around their performance from a couple of days ago, where I'm not sure what the final score was, but at times they were down close to 40 in that scrimmage.
Wow. So the crafty lefty, Justin Robinson, adds another point. He's a game-high scorer tonight. Been in the thick of it and really kept them in it when things were looking a little bit glum midway through the third.
Huge rebound by Thomas Abercrombie over Tyler Harvey.
Getting up, didn't he? Here's Brown Jr. That one doesn't drop. Hasn't been a big night for Brown Jr.
He spent a lot of time on the bench in the second half and hasn't really been able to find his rhythm upon reinsertion.
Here's Froling. Harvey now gives it up to Deng Deng. Triple for Deng Deng, and that'll give the Hawks the lead.
I think you meant bang, bang.
Bang, bang, ding, ding.
What a shot by Deng Deng. All the confidence. Hadn't scored much in the middle two quarters, but he's up to 13 now.
Has nailed a couple of triples tonight. Hawks by 2. Who would have predicted this when they were down by 17?
19.
Midway through the third. 19, in fact.
What a turnaround. A 21-point turnaround from halfway through the third. As the well has gone dry for the Breakers. They have not been able to find the bucket.
2.5 minutes to play. Here's Tyler Harvey. Deng Deng now. Robinson playing for foul number 12. Cross-court violation there against the Hawks. Brantley takes a break. Pardon comes back in to the action for the Sky Sport Breakers. And it is a Breakers ball. So this is where pre-season becomes important, Casey, because these are the sorts of situations the teams work on. 2:20 to go, 2-point game. Heavy contact there on Brown Jr. goes unseen and unwhistled. Rob Lowe receives and fires. can't complete it. Froling, big rebound. Robinson away.
Still just 4 points in the quarter for the Breakers. Been outscored 12-4 over this term.
Robinson with the miss at one end.
The defense from the Hawks.
Pardon wants it down low. Sends it back outside. It ends up with Abercrombie. Low. Rebound. They go again. McDowell White. And that mismatch is picked up. Bullock with the foul.
Not a bad foul. Still had one to give, but it will be free throws on all fouls from here on out with 1:41 to go. As the Breakers have been creating some really good looks the last couple of possessions, but just can't get them to drop. And as solid as they were in that second quarter defensively, the Hawks have been their match or better here in the fourth. As they have just put a stranglehold on the offensive capabilities of the Breakers down the stretch.
Swankala Bullock out of the game. Madronya back into the game. Rob Lowe takes a break. Brantley replaces him. 1:41 to play. Hawks by 2. NBL preseason action from the Stockyard. McDowell White steps around the screen of Pardon. Corner ball. Brantley has fired away from deep tonight and hasn't been able to convert. Great pass up to Sam Froling. Pardon.
I thought that should have been a goaltend. He hit the backboard while the ball was on the rim.
Well, Froling thought the same and made his feelings known. More importantly, though, no whistle. Brantley worked himself into trouble there.
Well, he had such a strength advantage there that he was just backing down, and the resistance didn't come, so he fell off of it as Sam Froling still saying, give me that call. The Hawks, another chance to extend this lead.
Well, you were very quick on it, Casey.
It was a great challenge, but that ball was off the glass up the rim, and anytime somebody hits that backboard and shakes it, that's pretty much automatic.
I think Pardon's going to shake a few things this season. Robinson just a little bit too fast for his own feet there. They will get it back.
Brown Jr. saying hello to the Breakers fans as he makes himself familiar.
Well, not only hello to the Breakers fans, he was doing it to the third row of the Breakers fans.
Justin Robinson, how about that burst there? Finding himself in a little bit of space. Just couldn't hold on to it.
He's quick.
He's got some explosiveness. No doubt about it. He's put together a heck of a ball game today. 24 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal.
He could be running around the track with the V8 supercars tomorrow and beat a couple home, I think. Here's Tyler Harvey on the turnaround. Well, he hasn't had a big night, Tyler Harvey, but that basket may be the biggest of the night for him and the Hawks because they lead by 4 with 58 seconds to play. And when you're a shooter, Casey, there's one thing you keep doing.
Always shooting.
You keep shooting.
Well, you know, when you're on, you keep shooting until you're off. And then when you're off, you keep shooting until you're back on. And that's the one Harvey's gone with tonight. And he's found the net at the perfect time, under a minute to go, giving the Hawks their biggest lead here of the second half. Their biggest lead of the game was 10 back in that first quarter. All Breakers for those middle quarters. But, man, what a job by the Hawks this last 15 minutes or so.
Well, you talked about the fact that the Breakers had held the Hawks for most of that third quarter to 4 points before the Hawks started to rattle on some late points. In fact, held them to 9, I should say, in the second quarter. Held them to 4 for a long patch of that second quarter, not the third quarter. What about the Hawks defensively in this last quarter?
It's been tremendous. You know, they've taken the Breakers out of their comfort zone. They've forced them to shoot more challenge threes, and that's the key, I think, here in the fourth quarter, that they haven't been, for the most part, wide open looks. They've had a hand up, and it's been the guys they've wanted to shoot. When the penetration has come, we've seen excellent rotations, and they're playing with a great amount of physicality without fouling. And when you're able to do that, that's when you're able to lift your defense. And Robinson, of course, carrying a lot of that scoring load. One of 3 players in double figures. Sam Froling with 12, Dang with 13 to go along with 12 rebounds. 8 points in the first quarter, 5 points here in the fourth. And that late inclusion of Tyler Harvey who's still just at 7 points, 1 for 11 from deep, but a timely basket to stretch out this lead to 4.
3 of 17 in the game for him tonight. But as you said, timely on that last basket. What can the Breakers do out of the timeout? Oh, great change of direction mid-air by Brown Jr.
Well, it's the elevation and his ability to hang in the air there as the defender. He brings it down, but he doesn't lessen his jump. Hangs up there, gets the finish, and puts a bit of pressure on the Hawks to convert here.
Not only did he hang, he just changed his body direction as well. Excellent work from Brown Jr. Been a big night tonight for Justin Robinson, not on that occasion. And here comes Brown Jr. again, 2-point ball game, 30 seconds to play, sends it into the corner. Abercrombie keeps it in. McDowell White picks up the pass over the top of Robinson. Brantley now busting his way to the basket and finishes over Froling.
Man, that's a strong move. He really displays Sam Froling with that strength inside before he gets the soft finish. And now the game in Tyler Harvey's hands in a gym he's done damage in before.
Crowd on their feet, 6 seconds to play. Make it 5, make it 4, make it 3. Doesn't go. Tied game, maybe. Abercrombie, no. Wow, what a finish here tonight at the Stockyard. And we're going to get some extra basketball. Overtime game, 64 apiece. Gotta love you some free basketball. Even in the preseason, Casey Frank.
Oh, the fans love a bit of free basketball. The players in the preseason, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. They might have wanted to, let's get it over and done with one way or another. But we have seen some tremendous defensive performances here tonight. This one's wet. Let's get a new one.
Hello.
Can we get one that I'm shooting a little bit better than, what is it? Let's see, what's Tyler Harvey?
3 of 18?
He is, yeah.
Good change up.
3 of 18 and 1 for 12 from deep. So he's saying, let's find a ball that goes my way a little bit.
Well, you call it gamesmanship. I just call it pure smarts. There's some intelligence in there. It's going to be a Hawks ball to get us started in this overtime period, believe it or not.
And the rules just explained to the players, each team has 2 fouls to give before they go to the bonus.
Yeah, team fouls are back to 0-0. Bonus occurs on the 3rd team foul, as has been customary for a while now in the NBL. Turning back to his right, the crafty lefty, Justin Robinson.
Like that. That is smooth. A lot of attention, hard show by Derek Pardon. Brown Jr. gets back into it, but not nonplussed.
He's a slippery character, isn't he? 26 in the game. He is going to earn himself a lot of love from the Hawks fans this season. Abercrombie.
Just 2 on the clock.
Got to get it up. They do. Brown Jr. with the miss. Deng, another rebound, cleaning up the glass for rebound number 13 tonight.
Can't say enough about the Hawks' defensive effort here in the second half. They have really turned it up, made things difficult for the Breakers.
Madronia. Robinson, here we go. What can he do? Find some space, drifts back on that left again.
What a box out by Derek Pardon there. As Robinson had a great look at it, just can't hit that one.
Quality stuff on a Saturday night. Brantley, that's just too strong in the end.
Well, when he sees that mismatch, when he sees that switch on the on ball, Madronia comes down on him, he knows he's got opportunity. Sam Froling tried to come over to help, but just was not in the right space with Brantley's finishing abilities around the cup. 12
in the game for Jarrell Brantley tonight. Double-double tonight for Deng. Madronia has put in some serviceable minutes as well.
Oh,
that won't be one of the best moves for him or Deng tonight. Timeout called by Jacob Jackomas.
An unfortunate time for the unforced era with 3:15 left in this one.
66 apiece.
And really impressive, just to see what the Hawks have been able to do just on the sole backs of effort. They're down a man from when they lost to the Breakers a couple days ago in a closed-door scrimmage, but the increase in effort and execution on both ends of the court has been substantial, and you'll love to see that kind of improvement in the preseason.
And from what we've seen tonight, Casey, from the Hawks, let's not forget, they're down 3 very good players. Matthew Greeder and George King all missing from this lineup tonight. No Tom Vodanovic for the Breakers. But pre-season, it throws up these curveballs. You always go away wondering what to make, what not to make, what to believe, what not to believe.
And then you get to the regular season and you throw it all out the door.
All out the door.
Good little hit-outs. Teams have been practicing for quite a bit of time. It's always good to see somebody with a different colored jersey so you can take just a little bit of animosity out on those guys instead of your teammates.
I was going to say pre-season's like when your mother-in-law comes to visit, but I'm not going to go any further with that. I'm just going to stop right there. I still do have some family and friends back in Australia, so I'm going to stop right there.
Don't dig that hole. You definitely don't want to keep digging.
Back underway. Breakers ball tied up at 66 apiece. Overtime tonight in NBL preseason action. Hope you're enjoying it. Brown Jr., Brantley now over Madronia. Big finish. Crowd loved that one.
That's the look they're looking for. And early on in that play, Brantley saw Derek Pardon down in the post and cleared him out. Said, go to the other side. I'm setting the on ball here. I'm going to get it. He knew the switch was coming, and they took advantage.
Breakers by 2. And just the last couple of moves from Jarrell Brantley. Strong physical stuff from the 26-year-old forward. I think Coach Modi Mayo would be pretty happy with what he has seen. Speaking of seeing good things, Robinson. Froling wanted it inside. Oh, he's turned it over on the pass. McDowell White chips in, can't finish. They've got the numbers underneath. Brown Jr. in the end is fouled by Deng. And the Hawks, well, he's put his hand up straight away for it.
I think it might have been Harvey from behind, but I didn't see who the call was on.
Hawks nearly got away with that then.
Man, the Breakers were all over that cross-court pass.
Well, 3-on-1 they had at one stage to the basket. Hawks scurried back.
Good physical defense without fouling, forcing the miss from McDowell White, but Brown Jr. doesn't give up on the play and earned himself these free throws.
Misses the first. 2-point ball game. It's 2.5 to play in overtime. Brown Jr. tonight, 6 points in the game. Make it 7.
Okay. So that free throw doesn't count because there was some wet spot on the floor that needed to get taken care of as the shot was going up.
Geez, you wouldn't want it to be a 1-point game in 2.5 minutes' time. Or tied up, for that matter. Put that one in the memory bank.
I feel like that one could have counted, and then you could have cleaned it up.
Just not sure why you'd wave that away. But anyway.
No effect on the champ.
Can I get back to the mother-in-law joke? It is pre-season.
You do you, baby. I will stay away from that one.
Converts it anyway. 3-point ball game, 69-66. Harvey.
Breakers really extending the defense. Froling taking advantage, though.
And here is Harvey in the corner. Oh, dang, big rebound and putback.
Wow, what a crash. Showing off that athleticism, takes his time after grabbing it, moves himself up to 15 points now, double figures in rebounds.
And 14 rebounds, maybe none bigger than that. It's been solid tonight in the absence of some tall timber standing beside him. There's Brantley again, Pardon. He gets up, he responds, ding at one end. Derek Pardon at the other, basket for basket, Breakers by 3, 1:50 to play.
Well, Brantley's physicality, unable to get the bucket, but he drove out multiple defenders, opening up the rebounding lane for Pardon on the tip.
Here's Robinson, has Pardon in front of him, pulled up the dribble, drops it inside. The bullet couldn't finish off. And now the Breakers can extend.
Scrambling defense by the Breakers, just enough to dissuade the make.
Abercrombie, years of experience. McDowell White gets some space made for him by Pardon, who nearly got the offensive rebound off the miss.
But it was Robinson that forced it out.
Harvey can't finish the fast break opportunity. Got up the floor quickly.
I wonder if the Breakers might just use a bit more of the clock on this one.
They still lead it by 3, 45 seconds to play. Brantley receives from McDowell White. He's called for the offensive foul. Turned his shoulder in.
Well, he's been playing so physically around the post here in the closing moments of the ball game, really asserting himself physically. And Dang's been waiting on that one. He got the matchup there, felt the shoulder, drops down, sells the foul as he should, and gets the call to keep the Hawks in this ball game just a wee bit longer.
I like this. Madronia stepping back onto the floor. He has hit a triple tonight and has looked dangerous at times in the corner.
Overall, the Hawks not great from 3, just 20% on 6 for 29 shooting. But
40 seconds to play. Overtime period tonight.
oh, plenty of space.
And firing away in and out, can't complete Tyler Harvey. Brown Jr. comes up with it.
Can't ask for better execution, but the Hawks are going to have to foul if they want to win this one. Just a 2-second differential between the shot clock and game clock.
And they got fouls to give. Breakers will use the time here, surely. McDowell White gets inside. Oh, hands it off, looking behind him for Pardon. Turns it over,
There's
though.
a chance.
Harvey hands it off. Robinson wide open. Dang, no, can't complete. And that'll do us tonight. NBL preseason action. The Hawks with a big chance at the end to tie it up yet again. But it's the Breakers that'll come out on top here tonight. 71-68, low-scoring ball game, especially when you consider we saw some overtime action.
Well, low scoring, but certainly not low effort. Both teams playing like this one mattered. Great improvements for the Illawarra. With their ability on both ends of the court. Really liked what I saw from them defensively, getting the Breakers out of their comfort zone and forcing them into difficult positions. Both teams able to mentally show a lot of toughness, fighting back from deficits, fighting back from poor play for stretches. And in the end, just enough from the Breakers in that overtime to get the victory.
Take us through some of the stats, Casey Frank.
Well, you have a look at the leaders for both teams. Leading the way is Robinson with 26 points for the Illawarra, backed up by Dang Dang with 15 and Sam Froling with 12. Isaiah Murio-Oho-Liafa leading the way for the Breakers with 16, supported by Brantley with 14 and Derek Pardon with 10. On the rebounds, Pardon with 12 to score his double-double, and Dang Dang doing the damage with 15 there. Monstrous effort. Abercrombie and Madronia each second best in their squads with 7. And then dishing the basketball, William McDowell White with 5 for his squad. Brantley backing him up with 3, and Sam Froling leading the way for the Hawks with 3 assists, and Dang Dang with 2.
Breakers shoot at a 36% clip tonight. Hawks at 29% from three-point range. Breakers 8 of 37, 21% clip. And the Hawks 6 of 31 at 19%. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is preseason stuff.
It is, and the Hawks are really impressive. 18 for 22 from the free-throw line, really finding their way to the line with consistency. A nice way to get those points going. But in the end, it was just enough from the Breakers in this preseason game in front of a home crowd of sorts here in Franklin that cheered them to victory.
And for those who were playing along, Justin Robinson fouled 12 times tonight. That's a good way to finish off the stats. Quickly, Casey Frank, your thoughts on both the Breakers and the Hawks ahead of the NBL preseason blitz starting in Darwin next Friday?
Well, I think you saw what you'd expect at this point of the season, and that's that the defenses are ahead of the offenses. I think for both teams, they saw really good flashes on that side of the rotations, the physicality they want to play with. But on the other end, the execution for the most part was good. We saw some really great shot creation when they were able to get by that initial level of defense. Just as the season goes on, I expect to see a few more made shots.
Thanks very much, Casey Frank. Look forward to seeing you and hearing you and Andrew Mulligan in the Sky Sport commentary box this season for all of the New Zealand Breakers games. Can't wait for that. They are at home for the first time in a long time on October the 7th when they take on the Tasmania Jack Jumpers. Before that, of course, in round 1, they're on the road against Melbourne United. For the Illawarra Hawks, their opening game of the season will be on their home deck against the reigning champions, the Sydney Kings. I hope you've enjoyed it, ladies and gentlemen. Great to have you with us. To all of our family and friends throughout Australia, it was an NBL preseason clash that delivered plenty of highlights and entertainment. In the end, the Breakers winning this one over the Hawks, 71-68. On behalf of Casey Frank, Justin Nelson, wishing you all the best. We'll see you next time out. Bye-bye for now.